That's in frame. Yeah, that's in frame. This'll make Mom very happy. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Well, Mom's very happy to see her boys get along. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yeah. Woo. You a happy boy? Are you? Oh my God, you're a happy boy. Welcome back. This is Close the Fuck Enough, a cooking show for the rest of us. It's hard to believe it's been a year since I made one of these. Lots happened in that year. I fell in love. I turned 40. I collected a few new scars. I went to IKEA for the first time and... oh, yeah, I moved. So our dog Toby just recently had his birthday, and to celebrate, I'm going to show you step by step how to make his favorite dog biscuit in the whole world, which is pickle flavored. Don't judge him, he's weird. If I seem a little agitated today, or if everything in the kitchen looks a little dirty already, like I already made food, it's because I did. This is actually round 2. I didn't realize it until I went to find my favorite rolling pin, but my SD card had corrupted, and literally nothing had recorded. I actually have a whole bowl of doggy dough in my fridge, ready to go to prove it. But it's okay, because my dog, he's a fat ass, and he's going to love double treats. And you guys deserve to see how to make it. So I'm going to start fresh, from scratch, and do this all over again. And just know, this wouldn't work if I didn't always buy double at the grocery store. Thank God for that habit. Okay, so first thing we need is we're going to make some pickle puree. And we're going to take this pint jar, sweet pickle chips. Do not get bread and butter. Bread and butter pickle chips have garlic and onion, and garlic and onions are bad for dogs. Actually, worse than chocolate. So don't get your furry friends sick. Sweet pickles. So I'm going to step away, drain these in the fridge. We're going to pop them in the food processor. Alright. Now the reason you want to drain them, aside from the fact that you want a nice solid puree and not a soupy mess, is because we're going to use sunbutter, and that's salty enough as it is. Just like me. Alright. Now, I have done this recipe in the past before I actually owned a food processor. A $10 budget thrift store blender will work. Maybe not as well, but it'll work. It'll get the job done. You might just have to do it, scoopful at a time. Take your time and do it. But food processor, nice and easy and quick. Okay. And that's what we're looking for there. Just a nice uniform consistency, nothing fancy. We're going to set that aside for a minute. And we are going to get a ½ cup of hot, not boiling water. What you're going to use this water for is to bloom some ActiveDry yeast, and then it's going to mix into the dry ingredients and actually bind everything together. But you want the yeast as the rising agent, so you get that poofy kind of hardtack feeling that you want from a good dog biscuit. Otherwise, these are just going to be way too soft. Now, if you're the detail-oriented type, what I mean by hot water is about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. But you're watching close to fucking up. So put your hand under it, and if you go, ow, it's hot. Alright. There's our ½ cup of hot water. Yeah. Pop open our yeast, and we want 4 tablespoons. Now, I buy my ActiveDry yeast in the big glass jars because I have a tendency to go through it. But you can get it in pouches, and each pouch is roughly the 4 tablespoons we want. So a little less work on your end. I am going to stir that a little bit just because there are a lot of little yeasty boys on top of the water that aren't getting the heat. And they need to be in the hot water to bloom, to thicken, expand. And we're going to leave that alone for now. Actually, let's set that knife aside. We'll want it later. We're going to go whole wheat flour, not bleached all-purpose white flour. Bleached all-purpose white flour is great for humans, but we want something a little more nutritious for our furry friends. Okay, and measuring cup is dirty, because again, this is round 2. So a 1/3 cup scoop. You're doing 2 cups of whole wheat flour. And remember, we don't give a damn about brand. Buy whatever's cheapest, whatever makes you most comfortable. Alright, here's our flour. I've already got our oven preheated from earlier. Our yeast is more or less bloomed at this point. It helps that there was already yeasty residue in the cup. So we're going to start mixing everything together. We also need a cup of sunbutter. Now, the thing you need to know about sunbutter is it's a lot like the organic peanut butter you might pick up at your local organic market or Trader Joe's or what have you. It can separate when it sits on the pantry. So you want to stir it up, get it nice and consistent. Just take your time. It's good for your biceps. All right. So we want 1 cup of the sunbutter. This is why we wanted the knife there. So we had something to ladle it out with. That's 2/3. Unlike the pickles, you will not use the entire jar of sunbutter. Okay, get that in there. Alright. Okay, now that is fully bloomed yeast. We are happy with that. We're going to take that, shove that in there. There we go. Now it's time for pickle puree. Everything just goes straight in to the same mixing bowl. Okay, so for today's recipe, we don't need a fancy stand mixer. We don't even need a nice hand mixer. We're going to use a $2 pastry blender. You're just going to shove her in there, stir around. You're going to just incorporate all of that. Eventually, you're going to get a soft dough. And then when you do that, you're going to suck it up and you're going to work it by hand. And yeah, it's going to be messy. It's going to be sticky. It's sunbutter and pickles. But you'll love your furry little buddy and you're going to do it for him. You're going to be strong. Like he's strong for you when you come home from a long day of work. And all he wants to do is play. And all you want is a nap. He's patient with you. And he cuddles you. He makes you feel better. Do it for him. Or her. You know, gender inclusive. I don't know. Maybe people have non-binary dogs. Well, do it for your furry friends. Whoever they are. Alright. Now, I've already done this once, so I'm going to go wash my hands real quick. But when you wash your hands, working with dough, make sure you dry them well. The reason you want your hands so very, very dry is this shit's going to stick to them worse if your hands are wet. The other thing you can do just like rock climber, just put a little on your hands, dry them out the old-fashioned way. Alright, so at this point I have the beginning of a dough. I'm going to get the rest of this off the pastry blender. And you'll see that I have clumps and I have crumbles and whatnot. And what I need is one consistent dough. And you're going to want is this nice, soft, oily kind of dough like I have right now. And you'll know that it's working because you'll pinch together and the seams will disappear when you do that. If you have a dough that feels very dry, and cracks, most of the time, it's because you didn't listen and you forgot to stir your sunbutter and you need more oil. If you need more oil, take sunflower oil. Yeah, favorite thing in the world. Take some sunflower oil and you just sprinkle a little bit like I just did with flour there. Mine's a little wet, needs to be a little dry. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour. If yours is too dry and starts cracking, you're going to pour just a little drizzle of oil and work it in. And eventually, it'll be the right consistency. All right. At this point, we have our dough. We also have a little bit of a mess on the counter. So, commercial break. Alright, countertop's clear enough, and we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on the countertop. That's going to make it easier to roll the dough. So we're going to flatten it out. And what you want ideally is about 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch thickness. Alright. Then get it to about that point. You don't want to spread it out too thin because guess what? You can knead it back up, roll it back out in a minute. Now I'm going to go traditional, do a little bone shape, but you do you. Do whatever shape your little heart desires. We're just going to, like we're making sugar cookies, just bump, bump, bump.
Hey all, I'm going to interrupt myself here because something that didn't make it into the second recording is a story of how I came up with this weird-ass recipe in the first place. The first moment of friendship I remember sharing with Sarah was her showing me a video of Toby begging for pickle chips. I already had a crush on Sarah, and I figured the best way to her heart was through her dog. Toby absolutely refused to eat that first batch, which is how I learned he hates peanut butter. I told you he was weird. I made another batch with some butter and immediately won the dog over. Sarah, on the other hand, took much longer, but that's a story for another day.
You can't see it from that angle, I'm sorry. Standard cookie sheet with parchment paper on it. Alright, and we have our guys cut, and I'm doing, 10 on my tray, I think. Just nice, evenly spaced. You don't want them to get too close together. These will expand a little bit. They're going in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. And there we go. Nice, crisp, warm dog biscuit.
Did Dad make you your favorites? Did he? Oh, that is a good boy. Yeah, Mom always wants you to speak. What's Dad want? Dad wants you to... Can you sit and be gentle? Gentle. Good boy.